Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Barefoot Deacon. Today I want to talk to you about discernment. Discernment is something we talk about in the church quite a bit, but a lot of people don't really understand what it is or how to do it. It's different than decision making. When I make decisions, it's usually based on my thoughts or feelings at the time or a pros and cons list. And quite often when I make decisions that way, I kind of regret them later, or I change my mind, or I second guess myself. It doesn't always turn out the way I want it to. But when I use a process of discernment, it can literally change the trajectory of my life. And I've talked about this with a lot of my spiritual direction clients and my friends and family when they come to me and they're trying to make a decision. I will walk them through a process of how to discern. And it goes something like this. And I'll give you an example as I explain it. My oldest son called me one time trying to decide if he wanted to stay in active duty military or switch out of it. And he needed to make a decision in a fairly short amount of time. So here's what I recommended. I said, make a decision, decide one way or the other, and it doesn't matter which way you decide. What matters is what you do after that. I said, for the next 3 days, pay attention to how you feel about that decision. Does it feel good inside? Does it make you feel happy? Does it give you peace? Or do you feel stressed, agitated, irritated? So he decided that no, he was not going to continue active duty military. And he said, as he went through his days in the next 3 days, every time something came up that was stressful, he said to himself, if I'm not active duty military anymore, I don't have to deal with this. And he said he felt such a sense of relief. Now, he didn't leave the military completely, but he switched to full-time reserves instead, which has worked so much better for him. Another example is I was trying to decide on whether or not to do a trip to Israel. It was on my bucket list to go to Israel. I had always wanted to do this trip, and the opportunity came up to go with some friends of mine from my synod, people that I knew well, and I thought, if I'm ever going to do this, now is the time. But it's a big decision. It's a lot of money. It was a long trip. So I used a different technique for that one. At the end of every day, right before I went to bed, as I was praying and meditating and connecting with the Spirit, I asked the question, would it be in my highest good to take this trip to Israel now? Sometimes your dreams can inform your decision. So I did this for 3 nights in a row. Unfortunately, I didn't have any dreams that led me in a specific direction, although sometimes I will. So on the morning after the 3rd night, I walked out of my house to go to the mailbox, and I was worried about a lot of things, and I needed to make a decision about this trip and put down a deposit, and I didn't really know yet. And one of the things that bothered me is that I didn't even have my passport yet. Did I really want to put money down on a trip if I didn't know if my passport was going to be there in time for the trip? So I'm walking out to the mailbox. I'm still not sure what to do, but in the mailbox was my passport. So it seemed pretty clear to me that was a green light. That was an all go. And I did go on that trip. And I made some amazing friends on that trip. And I have memories that will last a lifetime, as well as photographs of amazing places where Jesus walked. I tell you these things in hopes that if you're facing a big decision, that you will draw on the wisdom of the Holy Spirit to help you in that process. Give yourself some time. And I'll leave you with one more example. I applied for a job one time and I was really excited about the job. It was a creative position. I felt like I would learn a lot from the person who wanted to hire me. And he offered me the job on a Friday. And I said, can I let you know on Monday? And he said, sure, because that gave me 3 days to decide and discern. So what I had decided was I'm going to take the job. But I didn't do anything. I didn't act on that decision. I just checked in with myself over the weekend. And what happened was I started to feel stressed, really anxious. My stomach didn't feel good. It just felt like something was off. So on Monday, when it came time to give him a decision, I said, I cannot take this position. And I really can't tell you why. It's nothing against you. It's nothing against the job. I just don't feel right about it. Well, it turns out within 6 months, that business had shut down. There is no way I could have known that going into it. But the Holy Spirit knows things that you can't possibly know. So if you tap into that wisdom, it can inform you in ways that you maybe didn't realize. So I hope you will give yourself some time to check in with your body, check in with your dreams, give the Holy Spirit a chance to respond to the thing that you're trying to decide and give you some input. Because I tell you what, it has never failed me yet when I have used this process. This is the Barefoot Deacon, and I hope to see you again next time.